And so it is. Greetings, dear ones, beloved one. I am that I am Ekara, an energy to which you have had no further previous contact. And yet today I would like to make my presence known. Ekara is one of the many names that this soul, this energy that is now channeling for us, has spoken to you before, has lived with you before. It is a bit difficult at first, for this is the first time that we are speaking. We are finding the English language a little bit harder to integrate. Any human language at this point, for the Lemurian language, was so beautiful, so elegant, so precise. It was a language that didn't need many words to say the things that needed to be said. Now, in this English language, it is pretty difficult for us to translate the energies of that with which we want to communicate with you today. So, thank you for your patience in this respect. Again, the name Ekara is a name you have all known. It is a name you should know very well, sweet angel. It is the name of your son. It is the name of one who once lived on the Lemurian continent as well. Of course, one who was destined at that point to take upon further tasks, to take upon further energies, but unfortunately, due to the interference of darker forces, this was cut short. So today, I have the privilege of re-emerging. I have the privilege of speaking to you again. And those of you who are here for the first time, those of you who have traveled with Jeshua to this place, should think it pretty interesting that every time a channeling has come in, new names have appeared, names that have not previously been heard. The name Imzaia, for instance, or the name Toraya, the name Camelaya, three dragon energies that live on the Mount Shasta, live in Glastonbury, live in Tintagel in England, in Cornwall. But today, this name, Ekara, is a name that is closer to your hearts. At this point, we cannot offer you too much information yet. All we can say is that as Aurelia and Adama and the others have confirmed for you that your great journey has begun. All of you know this. All of you have been here before in this planet's energy. You have made the journey, and the journey could be called complete from our point of view, from the point of view where we are sitting in the higher dimensions. It is complete. In fact, we see you having made the choices already to continue on to the path. And to us, this means completion. Once potentials have been chosen, once potentials have turned into certainty, completion arises. But what truly is the essence of completion? Completion is fixing the path in front of you as though the steps had already been taken. And you have all been thinking about focus lately. Well, focus brings on the energy of completion. You see, in the higher realms where we all sit, where you are also sitting at a certain type of consciousness, in the higher realms things work a little differently. You work with linearity. You work with a path that you have to follow, and you don't know what the next step is going to bring. Oftentimes you do know, or you believe that you know what the next step is going to bring, and then every single time you are shocked that the path leads a different route. Much in the same way as you have started your journey here, as you have started your journey in Europe, and you have ended up here now. And you have found, as you say, a home, a place. Will this be the end of the journey? Of course not. The journey is never over. It has never been about a place that you are journeying to. Maui is not the place that you are journeying to. It might be a place where you set your energies up for a longer period of time. Yes. You might even build that center that you have been dreaming about for so long. But you will continue. The journey will always continue. People oftentimes thought, when they think back to Lemuria, when they think back to this great energy, they thought it was just a place, just a little specific part of this planet Earth. But as you know, and as so many others know, the first and foremost energies of Lemuria were carried within the heart energy themselves. And wherever the Lemurian went was the continent of Lemuria. And when we say wherever the Lemurian went, what we of course mean is not just space, it is also time. So here, Lemurians, you sit. And then you have doubts in your heads, never in your hearts, always in your heads. And you think, will this mission of ours succeed? Well, just remember who you are. Just remember where you are coming from. You are coming from thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And this also is the path. The path is never just a space that you are walking on. It is also a time. And you know about space and time. You know how space and time are two of the 6 grand illusions. Illusions that have brought down the energies of planet Earth for such a long time. But have you already considered the judgment you still carry on the illusions that you see in front of you? So many judgments come up every day about illusion. Illusion of form, illusion of time, illusion of space, illusion of exchange of money, for instance, illusion of death, illusion of separation. And each and every one of you carries judgment with this. Now it is the judgment that keeps you away from the focus. And as such, the judgment creates uncompletion, non-completion, the state of non-completion. And this is the thing that you should know and that you should think about greatly in the next coming hours. For you have been given a grand opportunity here, as you did the ascension ceremony. What else is ascension but stepping out of judgment, stepping out of illusion? Energy, dear ones, raises itself naturally. It always has. It always will. This is one of the first great lessons that my mother at the time has taught me. Energy will always raise itself naturally. Unless it is brought down by a counterpart energy, by an opposite energy. And this opposite energy that creates a downward spiral movement is the energy of judgment. Now, judgment can creep into your lives so quietly. It comes in the form of a joke sometimes. It can come in the form of just a few words, and yet these few words set the energy of the rest of the day. And there where you have found yourself at the beginning of the day going up, spiraling up, just a few things can happen and the energy goes down again. And there you are, finding yourself at the same place where you started, and during the morning or during the night before. Now it is also important that you carry no judgment on this as well. Judgment on the judgment would also be a type of judgment. Leave all of these things behind. You have entered into a state of completion. You have entered into the beginning of a new era. And where those might think on this planet that work still has to be done, yes, of course this is so. Of course you are still walking the linear path, although the illusions of time and space are being taken away. But the completion is already there. You have already moved from the lowest vibrations, which is the field of experience, onto the higher one, into the level of consciousness, unity consciousness. and onto the higher one yet, which would be the I am present, or the awareness itself. And now we are leaving the mind out of this, for the mind has nothing to do with this, in fact. And yes, this I am presence, it exists beyond time and space. It exists beyond duality. It exists in this space that you would call totality. Totality, as you have spoken to the Jeshua before about this, totality is that type of energy that goes beyond duality and creates a field of what people are giving a popular name to these days, a field of triality. Now, this total energy of the I am presence will always be with you. The only thing you have to do every single day is to remember. Now, we know that the Jeshua hasn't had an opportunity to read these texts yet, but we know about your last book, of course, as we are your energetic son. And this gives you the opportunity to, in only 7 days, 7 steps, which can be done in 7 days, raise yourself up to a point of totality where you will not recognize yourselves again. So much grand Lemurian information is coming back into the planet Earth, is re-emerging and reweaving itself with every bit of matter. Most importantly, it is weaving itself into the human heart. Did you know that there is no difference between the word Lemurian and the word human? There isn't. At the same time, there is no difference between the word cat and the word dog, apple, pear. As Adama has said before, it is all just one. It is all just one energy, one consciousness, one totality, one awareness. The reason I have spoken today, this energy which calls itself Ekara, is just to introduce myself. In the coming days, once we have a chance to communicate again, I will talk more about everything that needs to be said. I will assist you, all of you, and the rest of this planet, of course, and you, all of you, onto the path, so that you will realize that you have reached completion, and that all you need to do is to translate what you have already done in the energy worlds, in the energetic realms, to translate this onto the physical realm. This makes your lives much easier, knowing that your energy, that your soul, that your consciousness has already decided. You have already decided what's going to happen next. You have already decided not necessarily exactly what is going to happen, but what potentials you will choose. There is always unlimited potential. Always. And yet there is potential of a higher frequency and potential of a lower frequency. Well, this type of completion that we're talking about, I and the others that are also here, is a type of completion where the consciousness has already decided to always go for the higher potentials. And this will automatically bring you to the goal that you have set for yourselves. Just a little bit more information about what we have called, and this channel has called, the Cosmic 12. If you were to look at the Cosmic 12 as 12 rays of vibration, 12 rays of cosmic vibration that each and every one of you carry within the body, the energy body, yourselves as well, on a micro level, then this Ekara would be the 11th of these vibrations. Just one frequency of the 11th vibration, of course. We will go into greater detail about all of this later, as it might be a little bit confusing now. This is a blending of two worlds of information are coming together. And so these little schematics that you as humans always get caught up in. For this is one of the things that we find most beautiful and most funny as we channel information, as we bring in information into the channels themselves, we never think of systems. We never think of schematics. It is the channel that translates into schematics, for this is the human experience, of course. And we allow this, for it is the only way that information can be put into the ground, here, into the heart, there. Now, as we have introduced ourselves, we ask the room if there are any questions that we can answer for you.
Has Mount Shasta to tell us something specific?
Specifically? Oh, the mountain has been talking to you and to all of you ever since you got here. Now, of course, we would be able to give you a summary of everything it has been telling you, but this would take away from your grandness. This type of communication between you and Shasta, the energy of this area, is so personal, so energetically linked to your own system, that it would be an unveiling of sorts. It would be a shortcoming if we were the ones translating this for you. This would take your power away from you. So all we can say is find a spot, sit down, open your heart and listen. Not to all of you this information will come in words, for some of you here are not communicators of words, like you, for instance, the man behind the camera. You aren't all beings of words. Some of you are beings of feeling, beings of so many other things. Find your own way of communicating specifically with the Mount, and it will respond. It has already done so ever since you got here. Don't any of you remember the first night with your motorhome, which carries the name Pegasus, by the way, very funny. When you drove up to the Mount the very first night that you did this, well, none of you got a good night's sleep then. And those of you who did, they went so very deep into the Mount that they don't even remember. Well, this was the mountain communicating with you. And as it always does, it will purify your energy at first. For the journey has been long. The journey here. And of course we are not talking about the planes. We are not talking about the time you spent on the road. We are talking about the lives you have spent. And the purification that is happening here will assist all of you to communicate with mountains like this one on a much more intense kind of level than you have before. So, this is a long way of saying that will not give you an answer. Thank you. Anyone else?
I would like to know about the Ekara.
Yes.
You were in the physical at one point.
Mm-hmm.
How long ago?
Well, exact dates
No, we don't know.
are not necessary, of course. Let's just say that this energy that is speaking to you now, and also the Jeshua that is translating for us, has always been a type of sun energy. Of course, everybody is a son or a daughter, but this type of energy is always remembered as the son of. There is a very special mother-son connection between these two as well, for instance, but this was a totally different life, a totally different reality. The Ekara that is speaking to you now, you know from the times of Lemuria. As we have said at the beginning of this channel, it was one of the prince energies that would at one point...
That's what I felt.
Yes, indeed.
I didn't want to say it, but that's what I felt. I always when I channel something, sometimes I'm just not sure of what I'm saying, if it's true or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always afraid to give misinformation.
Oh yes, but this is one of the things that makes up a great channel. There are channels that get too sure of themselves. There are channels that let their ego come in the way, and then the translation gets polluted. It becomes much more about the show than it is about the information. And you have always been very pure in the way you translate information, even before you knew you were doing it. You have always considered what the impact of your words would be, and if the things that you were translating from energy into words were the most pure that you could bring forth. So this is your gift to this planet, that you allow yourself uncertainty, so that which you would bring forth would be of the purest waters that you could spring as a source.
I don't always feel that. Sometimes I feel that I bring incomplete information because I don't. It's not in my realm here.
Mm-hmm.
Not evident that when we're channeling that what it is. You
Yes.
know, whether it's accurate, whether it's not. I don't have anything to rely on for accuracy, and that sometimes it bothers me.
Oh, I can totally understand, as it bothers the Jeshua as well, and as it bothers so many others. You should know, you are considered one of the great ones on this planet who is bringing in the information. There are many others, of course. Well, not so many. There are several others. Think of a Ronna Herman, for instance, or think of, and we're just talking about the American ones, think of a Lee Carroll, or think of a Steve Rother. All of these people have different aspects, of course, and different truths sometimes, but they are considered grand in the way they are translating information. You are also one of these, and you know this. Otherwise you would not be known as the Queen of Lemuria. Now,
That was a long time ago. It just has been.
I thought time was an illusion. Isn't everything happening now? Isn't this life that you speak of on a sub-level of reality also going on now?
Well, at some level, it's going on. It's going on now, yes. But I, right now, in my physical body, present body, I don't feel like the Queen of Lemuria.
Well, that's okay. But
I feel more like the slave of Lemuria.
oh yeah, we understand. That's what this channel will start feeling soon too, and what he has been feeling for quite a while. But what we wanted to say is that you should have this type of confidence. The fact that you are bringing it in is the fact that it is truth. Just as long as you are doing it out of unconditional love, unconditional joy, and unconditional freedom, let these be the three guides upon which your information is founded, the three pillars, the founding fathers of your information could be these three principles. If you can attach these three principles to the information that you are bringing in, then you can be rest assured that this information is truth. Is it sometimes incomplete? Yes. Why? And this is simple. If you get information, if Adama, for instance, or so many others, bring information into you, if you translate this energy, then you are not getting words exactly. What you are getting is something that we could call monoids. And monoids are basically geometric shapes.
Yeah.
You have seen these? You have felt these? These geometric shapes come into your essence, that which we call the Akine, but we will talk about that later. It's a Lemurian word. They come into your essence, and you are invited to translate these geometric forms and shapes into words, which is a limited form of communication, words, for it is based on illusion. It is based on the fact that your body and my body are separate. So we need words which travel through time and space to get to you to understand what we are saying. On an energy level, there are no words. On an energy level, there is just immediate contact, immediate, constant non-separation. So words are immediately transmitted from one to the other. This is one of the reasons why your information is sometimes incomplete, but this is for all channels, for everyone. For some things can just not be put into words. They are put in feeling. They are put into joy, put into love. And that is why Adama had at one point told you that if people reread your books, they read between the lines.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So what they are reading is the love you put in there, and the joy, and the freedom. And that's what they pick up. So your words may be incomplete, but the energy in your books or the energy in your channels isn't. And always remember this.
Well, in that last book that I wrote, I put my whole heart and soul in it.
This is truth.
And I think it's going to reach many, many hearts.
This is also truth. But you should stop thinking.
Yes. I think too much. Adama told me that more than once.
Start knowing.
Yes.
Start knowing that what you are creating is necessity for this planet.
That has only a beginning.
Yes, definitely.
What about these bees here that are stinging us?
Well, this is a much larger question, but we will try to pinpoint it to the bees themselves. You see, as you remember from Telos, or as you remember from Lemuria, and so many other planets, so many other continents, so many other universes even, life forms such as humans and life forms such as animals are supposed to live in harmony. Now, in the course of so many thousands and thousands and thousands of years, humans have been brutally raped on this planet. Their lives have been for sale, their meat has been for sale, everything has been for sale. So an unbalance was created at this point. Yes. And this has created aggression in certain types of animals. There was a time when sharks, for instance, or so many other animals would just be like dolphins, swimming next to you, playing with you. The same holds for, and now we will pinpoint the question, the same holds for these wasps and other types of insects. What they are showing you is their presence, and they want to be heard. They want to be here with you. They don't want to be chased away. They don't want to attack you per se. They just want their presence to be known. This is a message from the insects and other animals to humanity, saying, in short, that we are here, we are equal to you, we are part of the energy system of the planet, and we need to be understood. So if they sting you, see in this the gift of information that they're giving you. Use this information, bring it out, and this type of bothering will be done. The reason why the bothering is there in the first place is that humanity is looking at itself as being on top of the food chain. And this is untrue. The only reason a bee would sting is that it wants to make its presence known.
I've come here many times. I never got stung. Now each time I come and got stung, I just got stung during the channeling. I mean, I'm not bothering them. I even brought some sweets for them today.
Oh yes, of course, but this is not, how shall we say, personal.
Yeah.
The reason why, for instance, the two people here today that have been most bothered by the bees are the both of you, this channel and you.
Yeah.
Why? Because they will go to those who will hear their message. Do you understand?
Yes. I should write a message from the bees, like
Yes.
I wrote a message from the
Great idea.
the redwood.
Great idea. Great idea. And look how their society interacts. There is a lot of things that aren't known. Each and every type of animal and each and every type of insect also has different energy levels, different types of consciousness, as you know, as you've seen in your cats, for instance. And on these different types of consciousness, these different levels of consciousness, there is a society interacting, of which humanity here just sees a tiny tidbit, just a tiny bit. But there's much more going on, and you are the one to bring this in. Yes. So start writing.
Okay,
You have enough time on your hands.
Thank you, Father.
You have enough time on your hands.
Oh yes, of course. I need to multiply myself 5 times, 5 bodies. Like the masters have many bodies. If I
Yeah.
had 5, 6 bodies, I could do probably much more.
That's what she keeps saying. She keeps asking, every channel she keeps asking the secret of cloning.
Yes, yes.
So, do you have other questions? Or
Well, I probably would if I had thought about it, but
Mhm.
it's, another time, yes.
another time?
Yes.
We will speak again,
Of course, I hope so.
of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is there anyone else?
Could you tell a little bit about our Lemurian heritage?
A little bit.
A lot.
Well, that depends. How long do you want to be here? Well, there's so much already being said about Lemurian heritage. We could advise you to go to her books. There is so much information there already about Lemuria. There is also a couple of projects that are coming up that we are downloading into these channels. For instance, there is a supposedly fiction, which we would call metafiction, book coming up called Lives in Lemuria. And actually we are thinking about inviting both channels here to write these stories as they evolve, as they get them. There is also, of course, the Lemurian dictionary that is coming up, which we would also invite both channels to work on this together, however they see fit. If they don't do it, someone else will, that's fine. But of course, the Lemurian heritage, you know what we can tell you specifically about this? It is that truth that you have always carried in your heart. And that's all you need to know. The Lemurian heritage is a place beyond words. It's even a place beyond consciousness. It is awareness. It is totality. And we have spoken about your presidency before. So all you have to do is ask. Ask for the private time with Jeshua or with me or with so many others. And you will be given this information. But it is personally, at this point, meant for you. So, do you understand what we are saying? Okay. Take the time. It is in your hands. And the information shall pass on to you. But it will pour out of your heart. Thank you. Well, others will not understand what was being said here, but you know. Okay. Anyone else? Anything
My next
else?
book that I'm planning to write,
Yes.
it's going to be called The Adventures of Queen Tapioca in Search for Lemuria.
Mm-hmm. So you already tapped into
It's
this.
a story, mythifiction, for children of all ages.
Great.
Yeah.
Grand. It is within the children of this planet Earth that the heart of Lemuria still burns, much
Yes.
more than in anyone else.
Yeah.
Especially the new ones that are coming in. Of
Yeah.
course, there are groups of older ones that also feel this calling, and these are the groups that are now gathering. The groups such as you all, that are gathering now, that feel the calling, that have been feeling the calling, and they've always been called the weird ones, because the others couldn't feel the same things. But the young ones, especially, children of all ages now, will respond very well to this. Yes.
And I do initiatic journeys also,
Yes.
and I have groups coming almost every week or several weeks.
Mhm.
I have like 6 groups plus Afro group this year.
Yes.
And every year, that's my 5th year, and every year when the groups come, it seems like it's a family that's been brought together. People like my last group last week, I had people from 7 countries.
Yes.
And it's like they all know each other, and then actually they never met.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like Adama, whoever orchestrate this, they're drawing families together.
Yes, that's
and,
the groups.
And people create bonds and they stay in touch. And to me, it is so fascinating.
These are the groups that we're talking about. It's people who have always considered themselves as weird when they were younger, because they had this calling in their hearts, and now through you and through others on the planet, they are finding their family reunions.
Well, I feel one of my roles is
Yes.
to gather the children of Lemuria that have been dispersed so they can find each other again.
Well, we will talk more, of course, but there is one thing that we want to say now that you have brought up the topic of children. In Lemuria, if you were to think of schools, for instance, schools were not a place, most schools at least, were not a place where children were taught information. Children there, and then, of course, were seen as masters. Masters now incarnate in human form, or in physical form at least, light form. And these schools were set up so that these children were the ones that gave information to the teacher. And it was the privilege of this teacher to go to what is now today known as the Passion Council. They gave information on the betterment of the planet, the betterment of life, the continued improval of so many things. And it was the teacher who went to the Passion Council, so that the Passion Council could talk to the king and the queen on how these children wanted to see the continuation of the planet. So of course it would be natural that this queen now again looks to the children.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for what you are doing.
Well, you're most welcome. I'm enjoying it. I feel great satisfaction. I'm not enjoying every day, or sometimes I feel it's a bit of a burden, but on the whole, I feel great satisfaction. I feel that I'm fulfilling my mandate for my mandate for my incarnation.
This is
that
truth.
I'm not just wasting my time here. I'm making a difference, and that's what only reason for being.
That
my
is
biggest
so.
interest is making a difference.
That is so. And you know what? Making a difference in the life of one human, or making a difference in the life of 1,000 humans through a book, for instance, there is no difference. There is no difference between touching one heart or touching 1,000 hearts. For if one heart gets changed, this change moves up into unity consciousness and changes it for everyone. And that's the beauty. So thank you.
Welcome.
We think, we feel, we know that you have no further questions at this point. But of course, you can always call upon this energy again if you have more questions at a later date. Dear ones, blessed ones, we wish to thank you. Lemuria thanks you. All the other realities, all the other light beings and light masters, ascended masters, thank you for having made the choice, for choosing to incarnate in probably the darkest time on this planet Earth. What has been the darkest time on this planet Earth. And choosing to come in with this much light wasn't easy. We know. Choosing to come in carrying this much information, this much energy, this much light into your very souls, into your very bodies, wasn't easy. And yet you have. And you're still here. Know that many, like yourselves, have already left. Many that came in a little bit earlier noticed that the energies here were just too low for them to continue to exist. And so they have left. But all of them are coming back. when this channel was still channeling information based on the Cosmic 12, beginning of this year, we spoke of a third wave hitting the planet. Enlightenment. You are riding the wave, all of you. And each and every step you take, look at it this way. Sometimes the journey may be hard, but every time you take a step, you allow one more being of light to incarnate completely as a child of this new planet Earth again. We thank you.
That's wonderful. I never heard that one.
Oh well. It's been a long time since we spoke. So we thank you for who you are. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the forests. Enjoy the bugs. And know that as always, we are not just in bodies such as this one. We are in the ground, we are in the trees, we are in the earth, and we are in the food and in the drinks that you will consume in just a little bit. And so, dear ones, so it is. Eya ich, oya ich.